How were the Egyptian pyramids really built? Imagine standing in the middle of the desert. The air is hot. The wind moves the sand across the ground. But right in front of you stands a structure that has survived for more than 4,000 years. The Great Pyramid of Giza, a massive stone structure that, even today, despite all our modern technology, is still astonishing to look at. But what makes this story even more remarkable is that, when this pyramid was being built, there were no modern cranes, no trucks, no engines, and no heavy machinery. So one big question emerges. How did the ancient Egyptians actually build such a massive structure, going back 4,500 years? To find the answer, we need to go back about 4,500 years to the time of Egypt's Old Kingdom. At that time, the pharaoh was not simply an ordinary king. In ancient Egyptian beliefs, the pharaoh held an extremely important position, and the afterlife was also of great importance. That is why they built enormous tombs for their rulers. And among all these monuments, one became the most famous, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu. But building such a structure began with a fundamental problem. Where would all the stones come from? Stage 1. Quarrying the stone. A large portion of the limestone used to build the pyramid came from quarries near the Giza area. Workers first identified suitable areas. Then, using the tools available at the time, they separated the stones from the quarry bed. For some important parts of the pyramid, harder stones such as granite were used. Some of this granite came from Aswan in southern Egypt, which was a very long distance from Giza. Now an even bigger question arises. How did they transport stones weighing several tons over such a great distance? This is where one of the most important elements of Egyptian civilization enters the story: the Nile River. Waterway the Nile, the highway of ancient Egypt. For the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was not simply a source of water. The river was one of their most important transportation routes. Stone extracted from distant regions could be transported on wooden boats along the river. The boats carried the stones northward toward Giza. The Egyptians had to manage transportation routes, timing, manpower, and resources as well. But when the stones finally reached the construction site, another major problem remained. How could they get the stones up the pyramid? Building construction stage 2, moving the stones upward. Here, we need to understand one important point. We do not have a definitive answer for every stage of pyramid construction. Archaeologists have proposed several different theories about how the pyramids were built. One of the best-known theories involves the use of ramps. Imagine that a sloping pathway had been built alongside the pyramid. The stone could be placed on a wooden sled. Then groups of workers would pull the sled with ropes, moving the stone along the ramp. But there was a problem. Pulling a heavy sled across dry sand is extremely difficult. And this is where an interesting detail comes into the story. Some evidence suggests that wetting the sand in front of the sled could reduce the force needed to pull it. Pouring water onto the sand may have made it easier to move the stone. Construction worker who built the pyramids? Now we come to one of the most famous beliefs about the pyramids. Were the pyramids built by slaves? For many years, the idea existed that thousands of slaves were forced to build the pyramids. But archaeological evidence presents a more complicated picture. Near Giza, archaeologists discovered remains of a workers' settlement and evidence of an organized workforce. These findings suggest that building the pyramid required a large and highly organized labor force. Construction workers, stonecutters, architects, managers, cooks, and many other people responsible for providing food and supplies. So building the pyramid was not a simple construction project. It was a massive national project. Triangular ruler, but how did they build it so precisely? Perhaps one of the most astonishing parts of the story is this. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built with remarkable precision in relation to the cardinal directions. But the ancient Egyptians did not have computers. So how did they measure everything? They used simple tools, measuring ropes, geometric methods, and observations of the sun and stars. And this knowledge allowed them to carry out extremely complex projects. They did not have modern technology, but they had engineering knowledge. Brick stone upon stone. The construction of the pyramid began with a solid foundation. The ground had to be prepared and leveled as accurately as possible. Then, layer by layer, the stones were placed. As the pyramid grew taller, moving the stones became increasingly difficult. For this reason, different methods were probably used to move the stones at different stages of construction. Others propose more complex ramps or a combination of different methods. But there is still no definitive answer for every detail. And that is exactly what makes the mystery of the pyramids even more fascinating. Sparkles the White Pyramid. Today, when we look at the Great Pyramid, we see old and weathered stones. But its original appearance was very different. Its outer surface was covered with smooth, bright limestone casing stones. Under the intense Egyptian sunlight, this polished outer surface would probably have made the pyramid look completely different from what we see today. Over thousands of years, much of this outer casing was removed or lost. Exploding head, what was the real secret of the pyramids? Perhaps the secret of the pyramids was not some strange or unknown technology. Perhaps the real secret was something much simpler: organization. Imagine thousands of people having to work together at the same time. One group extracts the stone. Another group shapes it. Another group transports it. Boatmen carry the stones along the Nile. Other workers move them to the construction site. Engineers take measurements. Managers coordinate the entire operation. And all of this without modern machinery. This was not simply the construction of a building. Engineering, mathematics, architecture, management, transportation, and human labor. And now, let's return to that same desert. Thousands of years have passed. Countless generations have come and gone. Civilizations have changed. But the Great Pyramid of Giza is still there. Silent, massive, and full of questions. We still do not agree on every detail of how it was built. But one thing is clear. The ancient Egyptians needed knowledge, planning, manpower, and enormous cooperation to create such a monument. They did not have modern cranes. They did not have trucks. They did not have modern machinery. But they had something that may have been more important than all of those things: knowledge, time, cooperation, and determination. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of the Egyptian pyramids.